First and foremost, I want to give all honors and praises and glory belongs to my Lord and Savior, whose name is Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahabashai, Bahasham, Wahabaka Kwadash. The name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and his son's name is Yahabashai, who we reverence. And honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth, and to the hopeful elect across the globe, and to the very few brothers and sisters that are listening and that are also learning across the globe in the hopes of being saved. This lesson is going to be called Not Letting the Entanglements, or not being entangled with this world. Because it's so easy to be entangled with the things of this world without even realizing it. Okay? And this is why we always have to work to study, to pray, and to fast. We're going to start off on 2 Timothy 2 and 3. So therefore endure hardness. So if you're enduring something, there's opposition, there's friction, and it says hardness, because a soldier has to be hard. He has to be tough mentally, spiritually, and somewhat physically. Okay, so Yahweh said what? Endure. Already this is Paul speaking, but you understand what I'm saying. Endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Shai, because we are soldiers for Yahweh Shai. What does soldier mean? Solitary. So most of the time we're going to be by ourselves. You're not going to have other Akiam around you. They can't always be there to hold your hand in this war. It's a war. You have an army. We have a spiritual army. But then you have individuals that make up an army. So when you're not with a camp, your army, your camp, when now you're a soldier by yourself, fighting. Okay? So when men are not watching you, Yahweh is watching you to see if you're being that soldier. But you're supposed to be for Yahweh. And no man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life. And that word entangleth. When you go into that word, bear me just a minute, Baba Kashar. Quickly get that word up. Entangleth. Bear me just a minute. Alright. Entangle, to entrap, to twist together. And this is why I've got this image, which is what? A spider web. So you see a spider web. What does it do? It entangles. Okay? From really into. Okay? Entangle what? Entrap. Twist together, entwine. That's what a spider does. Okay, wraps that spider web right past you, so you get tangled up in it, in its oily glands. Okay, there's a name for it. Bear me just a minute. And guess what? It's actually silk. Okay, it's neurotoxins like protein, similar to proteins, and it's got 7 silk glands. Well, not one of them. Okay, but different ones. But it has at least 3 of its male. Give me just a minute. Yeah, it's not one single spider that possesses 7 glands. Okay, I think they got 3. Okay, but they have 7 different type of glands. Okay, that produces what? Silk. Different types of silk. So yes, spiders produce silk. Okay, real silk. It's known as what? A liquid device that control over liquid over spiders. What? Spinnerets. Very strong, extremely strong. Okay, and what happens when an insect gets caught on it, or a fly, or a bee? It may not make it out. Okay, so this is the way this system is. This is the way Esau has designed it. So you're not thinking about the Lord. This is how Esau has designed this kingdom. So you could be thinking about everything else except from this truth. And you notice how it says the affairs of this life. Okay, so you're not really going to be focusing on Yahweh if you're concerned with the affairs of this life. When you go into that word affairs of this life, is, spare me just a minute, from Latin status quo. Okay, spare me just a minute, there's a better word for it. And you could also tie this in with gossip, to talk idly about the affairs of others. So if you're concerned with the affairs of this world, you're going to be in that woman spirit. It makes you effeminate. When you're concerned with the affairs of this life, it makes you soft. And I ain't talking about the affairs in terms of you watching the news and you filtering that through the scriptures. That's a different affair. See, that's that holy conversation. But men that are not really focused on this truth, they're going to be talking idly about the affairs of others. That's why you got, right now at this moment, you've got a lot of gossiping. Excuse me, I've got to say, you've got a whole ass spirit right now in Israel. Whole ass spirit. Gossiping. You don't want to be that individual. Okay? Because what does that bring forth? Strife. And it also says, a report often malicious about the behavior of other people. A person given to gossip like a woman. Okay? And speaking of that as well, I quickly want to go into this because, give me just a minute. Speaking of women, let's go to 1 Corinthians 7 and 32. It's like I have not finished yet. This is 2 Timothy 2 and 4. That he may please him. So who are we to please? Yahweh Shai. Pleasing him is what? Finding favor with Yahweh Shai. And who have chosen him to be a soldier? Because we've been chosen, okay, to be a soldier. And if a man also strive for the masteries, and we're striving, we're fighting for the masteries. And that means what? Keeping this flesh in check to the best of our ability. Okay. Yet he is not crowned except he strive lawfully. So it's got to be done the right way. You could be striving, but it has to be done the right way. Now let's go into Corinthians, Baba Kashaf. Okay. Go to Corinthians. There's always, in this truth, there's always going to be something that tries to divert your attention from the mission at hand. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 7. And again, this is 31. Okay. Spare me just a minute. 29. But this I say, brethren, the time is short, it remaineth that both they that had wives, because I know certain brothers, they have a heavy portion and they got to deal with these things as well, be as though that they had none. So that's the mindset of a soldier. Okay, and what happens to most of these, it is a fact. I'm not talking about all, but most soldiers that are out to war, what happens with their wives? Most of their wives, they can't wait and they end up sleeping about. Okay, and if you're thinking like that, oh, I wonder what my woman's doing, you're in a weak spirit. You're in a weak spirit. Okay, have wives be as though they had none. So that's what mindset you've got to be in, even when you're around your woman, like you have none. Okay, and they that weep, mourn, is as though wept not, because you may have family members that may pass away, people that you knew pass away. And they that rejoice as though they rejoice not. Okay? Something good might happen during that day, but it's like you're not rejoicing after it. And they that buy is that they that possess not. So that's the spirit we want to have in this truth. That's called being focused. What? On the mission, because we're not what's the word? We're not saved yet. And they that use this world. So this the key thing right here. Use this world. So you're using it because you have to. Everybody in this, even in the truth, we have to work in the confines of what we've been given within this system. That's not abusing it, so you don't want to abuse it, overdo. Okay, to abuse means to overdo, to overuse. Okay, for the fashion of this world passeth away. So what's the fashion of this world? Going to clubs every Saturday, clubs, pubs, raving, just rubbish. Okay, bowing down to your woman. That's a fashion of this world. Passeth away. All that's going to be changed. When you go into that word fashion, image, scammer. But I would have you without carefulness. He that is unmarried careth for the things that belong to the Lord Yahushua. Why? Because he has more time to focus on Yahushua. He doesn't have all these other attachments. It doesn't mean he's not a man of the Lord, because you've got brothers that are married. You've got brothers that are married and they have children and they look after their family. But you can't let that stop you from getting in the way of serving Yahushua. Okay? For the things that belong to the Lord, so he that is unmarried, he cares for what? The spiritual things. He can focus more on Yahushua, how he may please the Lord. And that's spiritual, because what did we go into in Timothy? That he may please him, that he's chosen him to be a soldier. But he that is married cares for the things that are of the world. Why? Because your woman, whether you want to believe it or not, she's worldly, 9 times out of 10. But he that is married careth for the things of the world, how he may please his wife. So you're going to be what? More dragged into the world, and you're going to have a worldly, more so an effeminate spirit on you. Because your woman, you're seeking how you can, because women, they need attention. They need time. They need to feel like they're loved. So you're going to be doing those things to seek to what? To keep her there. It's a very, 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 very thin line. Okay? There is a difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman care for the things of the Lord, because you're also going to have women that are of the elect. And she's going to care for the things of the Lord, how she can attend to what? To the men of the Lord, that she may be holy both in the body and spirit. And she that is married careth for the things of the world. See, vice versa, how she may please her husband. And this I speak for your own profit. Paul was saying it's for your own good, not that he may cast a snare upon you. So he wasn't trying to burden them like the Pharisees. He wasn't doing it. He wasn't trying to cast a stumbling block or a trap before them. But for that which is coming, that ye may attend upon the Lord Yahushua without distraction. So when you don't have these other things, you're able to fully commit to Yahushua, which is the ultimate, and wisdom, which is the ultimate what? Woman, Sophia. Okay. Anything else? Yes, baby, just a minute. And it says again, Luke 21 and 31, and take heed to yourselves, as any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and the cares of this life. Okay, so everything is balanced. Okay, these were admonitions, warning the churches. Okay, and this is Yahushua speaking, so that they come upon you unawares. For as a snare shall it come upon all them that dwell upon the earth. What's that? The trip, martial law. Okay, and these particular measures. Therefore, and pray. So like watch there, ye therefore, and pray always that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass. Okay. And yes, the angels are taking account of everything. Okay. Give me just a minute. And we're going to shut up on this. This is 2 Peter 2. Go to 2 Peter 2. And 20. This is 2 Peter 2 and 20. For if they have escaped the pollutions of the world, okay, and we're going to go with pollutions of the world as well, okay, and get a real meaning of what it means. You can't go halfway into things. You've got to go fully in depth.
Strong's G 3393, Miasma.
Okay, so when you go into that word, give me just a minute. You go into the word pollutions. That which defiles, defilement, metaphor, vices of the foulness of which contaminates one in his intercourse with the ungodly mass of mankind. So what's that intercourse? Merging with the world. So when you merge yourself with the world, you become defiled. And you know it says intercourse with the ungodly mass of mankind, because the rest of this world, they're not thinking about Yahushua. So when you go back into the world, now what? Now you're unclean. Mismia, morally also foulness properly that affect pollution, that which defiles. one in his contact with the ungodly mass of mankind, the rest of the world. And also you can acquaint that with those with what? Philosophies, wayward philosophies. Let's go back to 2 Peter 2:20. For if they have escaped the pollutions of the world through the knowledge of the Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, they are again entangled therein. So they're back in the world. And quickly go into that word entangled as well. You've seen this many a times.
Strong's G 1707. Impleco.
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 Impleco. To inweave of a thing, to entangle, to inweave. It figuratively to involve with, to entangle. So this is what happens. It's a constant thing in the truth where you see men, they go right back into the world. And a man that's striving for the truth, that's never took no breaks, he ain't gone back into the world. A man that's in this daily, he's not of the world. He's of the spirit. He's of Yahweh Shai. A man that just turns up here and there, is not really sincere, don't really have time, that's someone that's entangled with the world. Don't even have time to link up with brothers. That's someone that's entangled with the world. And overcome. And the latter end is worse with them than the beginning. So now you're in a worse position. That's why the scriptures talked about in what Matthews? When this knowledge is no longer in your mind, he finds what your mind empty, garnished, swept, and you're in a worse state than before. Verse 21, it had been better for them not to have known the way of righteousness. So it's better you never even knew the truth. It's better you never even knew than to come into the truth and not really take this seriously and go right back into the world. I've always said that this what I want brothers and sisters to understand. You could be in a camp, but you could still be of the world. You could still be of the world, but you're just lingering about. Then after they have known it, have turned from the holy commandment delivered unto them. Okay, which is the commandment, what are the precepts, but it happened unto them according to the true proverb, the dog is turned to his own vomit, filth, and the soul that was washed to her wallowing in the mire. That's why you want to stay in this truth. That's why you want to stay in what the true tabernacle, which is his wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Many become entangled with the world without even realizing it. And I always say this, out of all the spirits, it's the spirit of the world that's the most heaviest, because sometimes you won't even know until a brother tells you. Okay? So with this, listen, I hope this was edifying, and until the next time, Shalom to the hopeful one. Shalom.